on social media yesterday, posting, he asked for a chance to get a ring. That's it. Anyone in their right mind would want that. So, Shannon, how much do you blame Harden for holding out?
It's like, Skip, the Rockets have done everything they possibly could in their power. Skip, they've mortgaged off their future in draft assets, trying to get James Harden a ring. Even though after
trying to get themselves a ring,
but they did everything they did. They consulted James Harden. Mm-hmm. There was not one player that came into that organization that James Harden was not consulted on. Mm-hmm. Okay, they went and got him a big in Dwight Howard. Mm-hmm. He and Dwight Howard couldn't make it. Dwight Howard says, nah, later for this. Forget this one-on-one. I can still play basketball. They got CP3 and gave up all their draft assets to trade CP3 for Russell Westbrook. They got Clint Capella. Mm-hmm. They got rid of Clint Capella. Skip, they've done everything for James Harden. Even after great after great after great said, look, if James Harden wants to try to win a championship, that style of play isn't conducive. But guess what? He was unwilling to change. And now, Skip, his mom says, well, I want to, all he asked for was a trade. Anybody could want that, Skip. If James Harden thinks that style, even the great Michael Jordan couldn't win a championship with that style of play. The great Kobe Bryant, the two offensive guys, Skip, that game come to mind when you talk about offense, could not win championships with that style of play. Mm-hmm. Kobe even told James that you can't win a championship dominating the ball like you dominated. Mm. No, we can do it, we can do it. Skip, Daryl Morey got rid of every big. Basically, they're going out there like a college team. 6'7" and under, it's like a 6'7" league and under. For James Harden to try to win. And now, you over there, you out there, all out there with Lil Baby in the A, gifted Lil Baby, Richard Mille, and, Dior and cars and all that. You all in Vegas. But I tell you what, he ain't gonna miss no check. Now, I'm gonna find him. Now, I don't know what the max the Rockets can find him, but I'm taking that paper. And I don't believe now James Harden probably making, what, $40 million a year? There's a good likelihood, and if I'm not mistaken, the NBA, they play their players, like most people, twice a month. I don't think you're going to miss no checks. Mm. But I'm telling you what, every day you don't show up, whatever the max I can find you through the CBA, Skip, I'm going to get that. And I ain't giving it back to you when you show up. I'm not going to let you hold me hostage. Mm. Now, we entered into an agreement. The one thing about the NBA, Skip, and MLB, contract guaranteed. That money guaranteed. Everybody, you see, Anthony Davis said the reason why I took this long-term deal is because of my injury history. That way I'm protected. James Harden protected for another 2 years, Skip Bayless. I'm not trading him unless I get maximum. Brooklyn, you want it? KD or Kyrie plus a couple of other players. I'm not taking, you're not finna get me with no jelly beans. Mm. I give you all these jelly beans. You just give me the big beans. Oh, no.
I don't think Karis LeVert qualifies as a jelly bean.
Is he James Harden?
No.
Okay, what about Spencer Dinwiddie? Is he James Harden?
No, but they're pretty good players.
Skip.
They're not jelly beans.
Pretty good players does not win you titles. Mm. Superstars win you titles. Mm-hmm. So which one of those superstars are you willing to get off of to get James Harden? Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving? Mm. Brooklyn, do we have a deal? Mm. Oh, we don't, huh? Okay, well, keep it moving. Kick rocks. Mm.
Okay, allow me to start with the fact that in the business you and I are in right now, I grew up in this business being taught that a contract is a contract.
Correct.
No ifs, no ands, no buts, no way out.
Right.
Okay? A deal is a deal.
Right.
Taught that since I was a little kid. This league, the rules are different because the players have slowly but surely taken over this league.
Thanks to who? Thanks to who? Give my guy credit.
I will, because he was the guy, thanks to Clutch Sports, or sometimes Unclutch Sports, however you want to do it.
Don't do that.
Who pried Anthony Davis out of a contract in New Orleans. And New Orleans went out of its way to do everything it could to give Anthony Davis the help he needed to win, or at least be a viable contender, right? How about DeMarcus Cousins? How about Rondo? You have Drew Holiday. I could go on and on. They had a pretty good team a couple of years ago.
But Boogie got hurt.
Okay? But the point is, Anthony Davis says, I'm not happy. I want out. I want to go with LeBron. Right. I want to go to L.A.
Right.
And the New Orleans officials, after the fact, admitted we shouldn't have even kept him as long as we did, because it was it got to be really difficult around here.
Yeah.
You know, it got to be ugly around here, right? Okay.
Because Dale Demps had dug in.
Okay, so the point is that the PER prince, who was Anthony Davis, he could flex his muscles enough to say, okay, I win PER a lot, but I don't win anything else. I want to go with LeBron and win a championship.
Right,
okay?
right.
So was he able to force his way out? You better believe he was.
After a year?
Okay, well, he forced his way out. Did my man Kawhi Leonard force his way out of San Antonio after a year? Yes, he did.
Yes.
He made himself, do not invite him back. He made it so ugly in San Antonio that finally they just said, we have to move him.
Thanks to Tony Parker and Manu.
Okay, fine. But he started it.
They didn't start. You ought to be ashamed.
Kyrie Irving said, I can't take LeBron anymore. I got to get out. You got to do it. And Dan Gilbert said, okay, because he had years left. You didn't have to trade him.
Right.
And he dealt him, right?
But here's the thing. They had another deal in place that could have got Paul George, and Paul George was willing to come if LeBron was willing to sign an extension. LeBron's like, no, I don't trust Dan Gilbert, and I'm not signing no extension. So you do what you got to do.
Okay, Paul George, speaking of, till death did him part with Russell in Oklahoma City, right? We're here for the duration. No, you're not there for the duration.
And now he's talking about he want to be a Clipper.
Okay,
Skip, that
Clipper
was
for life.
He said the very same thing in Indy.
He did.
I want to be here. This is where I want to be. Boom. He goes to OKC.
Boom.
Oh, I love it here. We can do it here. Boom. Now he wants, so I'm trying to figure out, were you lying then or are you lying now?
Okay, so how can I condemn James Harden for his current strategy? It's the way business is done in this league.
Okay, is James Harden upset that he and Russ didn't work out? Is he upset that management made moves without consulting him? Because it seemed like Mike D'Antoni walked out the door and they didn't have, it's hard for me to believe, Skip, that Stephen Silas was first on their list after Mike D'Antoni walked out the door.
Supposedly they blessed him. Supposedly he and Russ both blessed him.
And now both of them want out.
Well, they're both out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
It feels like
okay,
it.
And so Daryl Morey, who was James Harden, who went and got James Harden.
He did.
And they maxed him out. Skip, there are not very many teams that max out 6 men of the year. And that's what the Rockets did. They believed in him. So I don't know. Look, it's going to be a very uncomfortable situation, but I'm going to hold on to him for a year, and I'm going to drive the price up.
Okay, here's what James is thinking. I am entering my 12th season in this league.
Yeah.
Remember, KD was entering his 10th season when he said, I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to go join forces with those guys in Golden State.
But KD...
And he has 2 rings to show for
But for everybody that talks about LeBron, LeBron was a free agent.
He was. No, he did it the right way.
Kevin Durant was a free agent. He didn't hold anybody hostage.
But I just listed a bunch of guys who weren't free agents who just forced their way out. So here's James Harden. He's won 3 straight scoring titles. He was the 2018 MVP. He led the league in assists in 2017. He says, I got all these accolades. I'm called revolutionary as a perimeter scorer, right?
Right.
And I don't even have, I can't see a ring in sight. I need a telescope to see a ring. Because I got John Wall and what's left of DeMarcus Cousins, and that's what the guys they had last year. Obviously.
That roster was filled out by people that James Harden blessed.
Sure.
Daryl Morey, nobody's on that. Now, obviously, you know, they've added some pieces since Daryl Morey is no longer the general manager, the John Wall, and I think there's some other pieces that's been added, Boogie Cousins, that Morey didn't have anything to do with.
Got it.
But everybody that came in the last 4 years, let's just take 4 years, Skip, James Harden blessed.
Okay, so let's look back at when did he sign this extension? A 4-year extension was in July of 2017. He still has 2 years left on this contract. He has a player option for a 3rd year, but obviously that's out of play now because he didn't want to stay.
Right.
Okay, so what happened in that 2017-18 season? That team went 65-17. Is that good?
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty great, right? That team blew through Minnesota in the 1st round and blew through the Jazz in the 2nd round in 5-5. And all of a sudden, mounted a 3-2 lead on Golden State in the conference finals. And that was with Chris Paul, with whom James really didn't get along, but they were pretty good together.
Exactly.
Right? Because they're a pretty good mix and match.
But that's the thing, the skill.
Okay, remember, and what happened right on schedule? Up 3-2.
Chris Paul hamstring.
Chris Paul hamstring, and here they went, and they get blown out, and they lose badly, and James was just a disaster in Game 7. shot 12 of 29. He was 2 of 13 from three. He turned back into James Harden. But that was as close as he ever got to a ring, because if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, I'm pretty sure they can hang on to that. And if they do hang on to that, I'm pretty sure they would have beaten your LeBron Cavaliers.
What about the year? You didn't even bring up the year that the Spurs beat the brakes off the Rockets when Kawhi hurt his ankle and didn't even play, and they beat the Rockets by 50 in Houston with James Harden on the floor.
Okay. He's had some playoff disasters. I'm just showing you how close he was.
Yes!
If Chris Paul does not get hurt, he's got a ring.
And guess what? And then they lose, I think they lose the following year, and James Harden says, I know what we got to get done. We'll take care of it this offseason. He gets Chris Paul up out of there. He gets Russ. Oh, they friends. Oh, they best boys. They grew up. They know each other.
Okay, well, the way this league works, the way business is done is, if you don't give James Harden what he wants, you're going to have a long, miserable time this year in Houston.
We're going to have a long, miserable time with or without him, so I might as well just go ahead and keep him.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, we good. We good.
You don't want Mom to be mad either. That's never a good look. You don't want Mom
we good.
tweeting about
What about the Lakers, though? Purple and gold. How we